Hey guys, Jason. Well, today we're going to make pear butter, and the recipe comes right straight out of the old family Ball Blue Book Guide to Preserving. If you're new to canning or even experienced at it, having the Blue Book around is real handy. It's worth its weight in gold. Got instructions on using a water bath canner, the pressure canner, and it's even got some tips on freezing foods. It's and some great recipes in it. And it's for the price, it's about $5 at Walmart. Worth every penny. But today we're doing the pear butter recipe out of here. It starts out, calls for 6 to 7 pounds of pears, 4 cups of sugar, 1 teaspoon of grated orange peel, a half teaspoon of nutmeg. I'm going to use apple pie spice. I'm not a big nutmeg or cinnamon fan, but I do like apple pie spice. And it also calls for a 1/3 cup of orange juice. I'm making a couple of batches here and actually going to double up on it, so I may need more than that, but it don't take a lot of orange juice to make the single batch. And basically you start out by cooking your you peel, slice, core your pears up, cut them into small pieces, and you cook them till they're tender, soft. Then you puree them up, add all your spices in them, and cook them up till they mound up on your spoon. So let's get started. And this time I promise I won't scrape the side of my stock pot with the spoon. I know it drove a lot of people crazy in my pear honey video, but we're going to try to keep that to a minimum this time, I promise. So let's get going. Of simmering these pears till they get tender, and then we're going to pulverize them. So anyway, I'll bring you back in a few. Alright guys, we got it all cooked down, got the pears nice and tender, and now if I can keep from dropping this on the floor and get it in camera, we're ladling this stuff into the food processor. Gonna blend it up, and per the recipe, careful, do not liquefy. So we're looking for 2 quarts for the basic recipe, so hopefully we'll wind up with 4 quarts out of what I've got here, because like I said before, we're doubling my recipe. So I won't bore you with all the blending and chopping and pureeing and pulping. So back in a minute when we're ready to put the other stock pot on the eye. Now, just to give you an idea of what we're working with here, you know, it's pretty vague. Don't liquefy it, but I don't know if you can see that real close or not, but it's much like applesauce. It's a little finer than applesauce, but not much. So that's what you're looking at. I promised I wouldn't stir while I was making this video. I promised myself, and I know I said it at the beginning of the video, so I'm not going to stir it. But there it is, all put together. I'm going to tell you, the apple pie spice, the orange juice, and the orange zest, the house smells so Christmassy right now. It's just, this is one of my favorite things to can. This pear butter, especially, you know, with the little swaps that I've made to it, it's just delicious, and just makes the house smell so wonderful. It'll smell like this for 2 days, you know. But what we're going to do now is we're going to wait until this. I'm not going to hit the metal. Can't help myself. I must stir. We got to get this to where it mounds up good. Now it's beginning to mound some on the spoon, but if you shake it at all, it gets flat. Now we're going to have to let this simmer down a little bit and get to where it mounds up nicely on this spoon. Get it a good thick consistency. It's getting there, but it's got about twice as long to go. So I'll bring you back in a few. Alright guys, we're getting close. See the difference in the way this is mounding up on the spoon. Trying not to scrape the sides and make everybody's feelings hurt, but that's beginning to mound up pretty good. We got a few more minutes to go. Alright guys, one more demo before we put it in the jar. Mounded up spoon. We're gonna call that good. I mean, it's not just pouring over the edges, it's sitting there mounded up nice and thick. So that's what you're looking for. So I'll be back in just a minute when we're ready to put the lids on. Gonna ladle it up. Alright, we got everything jarred up, everything in there. It's per the blue book, it's got 1/4 inch headspace, but I leave a little extra, especially for these Tattler lids. I use the tongs to get to them. It's a 2-part deal. Never seen them before. It's a little gasket and the lid. You process them just like you would the regular metal lids. The only difference is when you go to put them on, you put them on just till you feel some resistance. That's it. Nothing. Just right there. And as soon as you bring them out of the canner, you'll want to cinch them down. That last 1/4 inch, once they've been through the water bath process. So let me get these things in the canner and bring you back when we pull them out. She's gonna blow! Right, as always with the water bath, you gotta shut it off and take the lid off and let it settle down for 5 minutes. So I've got the timer set for 5 minutes. I've also got 12 more jars processing here because we had a considerable amount of product left. So looks like we're going to have plenty of stuff to gift out for Christmas to all the friends I've made this year. So anyway, back in just a few. Alright guys, we're pulling the jars out of the water bath. As always, first one I'm going to get out is going to be that Tattler. And we're going to give it that last tight. I mean, we're going to lock it down. So have your gloves ready to do that with the Tattler. Alright guys, here we are. Went through a day at work and let these sit on the counter, get absolutely cool. Wound up with a half pint in the a half of a half pint in the refrigerator. That just wasn't enough to fill the jar up. Toad, buddy, there's your jar. We'll get that off to you shortly. But the Tattler lid. Now this one's going to stay in the pantry for a long time. There you go. The way you test them is to hold the jar up by the ring. Don't touch the jar at all. I mean, I'm sorry, not by the ring, but by the lid. Hold that thing up, give it a little shake. If it doesn't hold vacuum, it'll fall right down. I've had several fail over the past couple of years. And that's how you test them. You just hold it, give it a little shake. It'll sit right down on you. If it's not good, if it's good, you know, and that's a good seal. You can also sort of tell. You can just see that gasket's squeezed out right there, all the way around, pretty good. It's you know, I like these lids a lot, even though they burned me one time real good when I was getting to know them. in the pressure canner. I'd water bath with them a good bit, and I had pressure canned with them a good bit, but I let them get a little bit away from me on that one. Learned a serious lesson. If you're thinking about these things, go check out my Tadler fail videos 1 and 2. They explain what I did wrong. Basically, I screwed the ring on too tight, and the jar would not vent, and therefore it built up pressure in the pressure canner. And when I went to give it that last crank down, it didn't like that, and it blowed off and blowed turnips all over me. So anyway, that's it, guys. Pear butter, it's good stuff, yummy. You need to try it. Y'all take care. Jason out.